Hi, everybody. This is Terry Fender, your ARBA District 8 Director. Thanks for joining us this evening for another District 8 Youth Virtual Workshop. This evening, we're going to do actually a breed that I started out with in 4-H just a few years ago, and I've always liked it, and I'm happy to have it presented tonight. Our presenter tonight is Bruce Ormsby out of Indiana. Bruce is a former District 8 Director. He's a former Vice President of the ARBA. He's currently a member of the ARBA Standards Committee, and rumor has it that in high school he was lead triangle player for the rock band that he was in. The breed again is Palominos, and throughout the presentation, if you have any questions, please chime in with those questions, and Amanda will read them off to Bruce at the end of the time. And also, please chime in with your city, state, province, wherever. We're always happy to see where everyone's located at that's taken part. So with that, Bruce, it's all yours, my friend.
Thank you, Terry. We're going to start with the Palomino breed, and if you have your book of standards, it's on page 196. In your ARBA Standard Perfection. And I'm at the home of Mike and Nancy Robb, and well known for his Palominos. Mike's won, I think he said, 4 of the last 5 national conventions with his Palominos, several best in shows, and we actually have both varieties, the golden and the lynx we're going to talk about. So the Palomino is a commercial medium breed. Bucks 8 to 10 pounds, and the does are 9 to 11. So it's a little bit smaller than a New Zealand and almost the exact same size as the Californian, to put it in perspective. So Californian, the bucks are the 8 to 10. Californian does are 8.5 to 10.5, where on the Palominos it's 9 to 11. So just a little smaller than New Zealand, almost the same size as the Californian. Overall body type, the general body type on a Palomino is worth 55 points, pretty high there. Color, 25, fur, 15, and then the condition is 5, so you got your 100 points there. 2 varieties, golden and the lynx, and we're going to show you both of those. You want the body surface color pretty much throughout maintained over the head and ears, the entire body, clear down through the feet, the legs, till you get into the sides where they come down to the belly color. The under color is going to be a cream to white, belly color being the same. Underside of the tail, your jowls and foot pads and stuff be cream white. So, but you want that color to come clear down as even as possible on both varieties. The Goldens typically will have a lighter surface on the sides where the loin is on the leg joint there, and that's a little coloration. On Mike, you're not going to see much of that. We'll see in the juniors and stuff, but he's pretty much got rid of that. He's got, you know, the best color in the nation when it comes to the Goldens there, and that's what he wins on, is type and fur and condition and stuff on him. The Golden you're going to see today, we got a doe, and she's in prime coat, beautiful color. And the lynx, you're going to see the difference in the color there. Basically, they're colored, that sides are colored clear down to the belly, and then, like I say, the belly, the foot pads, the tail, the jowl will be the cream to white color there. The chest color is supposed to be the same. It's supposed to be consistent with the body surface color there. And you want the golden to be a bright, glossy color. There is a fault if they're dull, let's say pasty, flat color, dull. You want to cut severely for those. You want to cut severely for ear lacing. You will get a little bit of smut sometimes on the ears. I don't think you're going to see it on this one here, but you do run into that time to time through the head and the ears and stuff. But the golden variety typically cuts severely for dark, brassy red color. You're supposed to cut severely for that. Redding in the surface color. Cut severely for pasty, flat, or dull color as well. You want that brightness, that rich gold color there. Same way on the links. You want to cut severely for dark ear lacings on that as well. And a lot of times you're going to get the black or blue lacing of the color going over the links. Cut severely for that. They are a flyback coat, commercial normal standard, so it's 15 points there. Condition was a 5, so color and body type is really what you're looking for. They're typically like I say, a New Zealand Californian, kind of in between the two of them. I'll start out with the golden. And what they was talking about, a lot of times you get a little bit lighter color, that surface color right here at the hip joint through that leg, and you're not going to see it so much in this one. It is typical in younger golden Palominos and stuff there, but this is, I believe, a senior doe, and she's won Best in Show before. And, amazing animals. But typically you pose them just like the cow in the New Zealand. You want those front legs right up there at the eye. You want the hind leg and toes right at the front of the hip. When you look at them from the side, you're going to see an arch starting right behind the ears there at the head. Continue to rise up to the center of that loin, and then it's going to turn down towards the tail and then round into a full hindquarters there. And you see very little difference in the color right here at the hip on this doe. Very well even. She's got an amazing coat and color, very even, very golden rich color on that. When you turn her over, you're going to see the creamy belly color there going down into the foot pads. You notice a little bit through the jaws and the tail. But she's not white. She's a rich cream color right there. But you can see just a little bit of that line that they talk about. And you'll see that just about in all juniors, and you're pretty much going to see it throughout the Palominos when you're judging that. Look at them out there, you're going to see that. She's got an amazing body type there, very full. They want a real full shoulders going into a widespread rib and loin, and then full around the hindquarters. Medium length, medium head and ear. You notice the ears on that, you don't see any lacing, any smut on that head and ear. Real rich, clean color. I hope you can see the glossiness in her golden coat, because she is beautiful. 55 points on the body type, 25 on color, 15 on fur, and then 5 on the condition. That is the golden. You should be able to see the difference in the link. You've got a pearl dove gray cast going down into a bright beige undercolor. You can see that there. Very unique color. Again, you're not going to see the smut on her ears. You'll see the difference. You can see her molt over the center of her back right there, but she's still got an amazing coat. She's just in between coats right now. And then they're going to have the same undercolor, belly color is going to be that cream color. Foot pads, you'll notice under her jaw there. You blow into it, you got real rich cream color. Hope you can see that. But a lot of it's on body type, a lot of it's on the color and the fur of the rabbit. Mike hasn't had the lynx as long as he's had the Goldens. I know he said he's put some gold into the lynx and trying to improve them a little bit, but he's got amazing color and coat on them right now. It's just this one's not quite finished like the Golden in the summertime here. But he has no smut on his animals. They're very clean, very well conditioned. And I hope you can see the dove cast of that lynx compared to the Golden. Maybe we want to set them side by side.
Yeah.
This is a Golden. This is your lynx. The different variations. You can see she just got that prime coat right now. She's just amazing. I think Mike said that her last trip out, she was best of breed and best in show. You can see the dove gray there. Another severe fault for the lynx, you got the blue or black tipping on the surface color, which you don't really see there. Cut severely for very dark ear lacing on that one. The Goldens, you don't want the dark brassy reddish color, or you don't want the ear lacings on either one of them. And then they both get the dark smut and stuff on the ears. That's kind of a fault there. Typically, you're going to see that lighter surface color right there through the hips, kind of a known trait for them. And you will see that a lot of times in the younger rabbits. You just barely see it on the Golden doe. Mike pretty much got rid of that. That color is supposed to carry all the way down through the sides till it meets that belly color. And she's got just a little streak right there of a lighter color. But they're amazing animals. Harry, I see why you started out with them. Their temperament, body structure of them, like you say, they fit right in there to the medium breeds with the New Zealands and the Californians. Very pretty animals. The Golden will carry the brown eyes, and then on the lynx, it'll be a blue-gray eye. And they both have the normal fur. So commercial normal fur is what they would show in. And there's 15 points. It's a flyback fur. Pretty much what I've got. Any questions?
Alrighty, everybody. If you haven't chimed in with any questions yet, please feel free to. And again, include where you're located. We're always glad to hear that. Facebook is about 20 seconds behind, so I might ask, well, Juan here to buy Bruce a little time. Bruce, I know color doesn't always come across real well on the virtual, but you can really tell that color on that animal looks amazing. I just noticed sometimes over years when you do the Goldens, they get, I don't know if you want to call it brassy, and there's that too dark in color, and you can really tell that one there's got that right shade and everything of gold.
Okay, you just can't stress enough about her color. It's amazing. It's a real rich Golden, and it's glossy. It's not that dull. It's not that pasty looking. She's brilliant in her color. And even that tiny little bit of lighter right there on her hips going down into that leg, there's just not much of it there. You see a little bit of it, but I know Mike said that in the juniors and stuff, they'll have that, but he's pretty much got it out of the seniors where you just see very little of it. They say they want that carried down as close to the belly and, you know, coming in with that cream color on the belly right there. And she's amazing. I mean, all it is. So
that's
got the color right on them.
Yes, that's a pretty animal, I tell you. Okay, Amanda, what do we have coming in over the internet?
As far as check-ins go, our very first check-in was from Indonesia. Then we had Ontario, Ohio, Michigan, Kentucky, Oregon, Ohio, Michigan, Oklahoma. I'm going down here a little bit farther to New Jersey. And we have some questions that are coming in. The first one says, as we develop our herds, what would you recommend to focus on first, body width or the depth?
Well, I would say work on the body type. I mean, you got to have type before you, I always say you got to build the barn before you paint it. And I say you got to work on that body type, getting the arch starting right, you know, behind the head, going right up over the center of that loin, then rounding out to a full round hindquarters. The loin actually has to round two different directions. It runs loin from the shoulders to the tail, so it rounds that way. And then from side to side of the rabbit over the hips. The loin has to round that way. And I give a lot of faults when it comes into commercial breeds for that being hollow right over the loin down into the hips. That loin has to carry enough width to come out over those hips and round that way. So I would focus on the body type, and then you can't forget that brilliant color. You got to work that in. I know some people put different things in the Palominos, but you got to work a couple generations, 2 or 3, to get that brilliant color that you're looking for. You want that real rich golden color, or on the links, you want that dove gray, pearl gray over the surface color there, but you want that real rich cream beige undercolor.
Okay, and then we also have, can you talk about the high point and the difference in Pals versus other commercial breeds?
Okay. I read the Palomino standard, and it threw me just a little bit, the wording and stuff on it. It says it's supposed to rise from a well-filled shoulder through the ribs to the loin, and they talk about the high point being at the front of the toes, which would be at the front of the loin, because that's supposed to be right there at the hip on when you're posing the animal. And I'll pose one and show you here in just a second, but those toes will be in the front of that hip right there, and that'll be at the front of the loin, and then it's supposed to gradually fall down towards the tail, and then it says round into a full hindquarters. It's stated just a little bit different than Florida White and New Zealand, stuff like that. I got just a little tripped up when I read the standard, but interpretation, that's where you want that high point to be, is the very front of the loin. So when you set them, you should have the front feet right even with the eye. The hind foot should be right in the edge of the hip here, and I feel the toes right there. So that's where you want the high point. That'll be at the front of the loin. The loin is right through here, and the loin carries back to about here. So you want the high point being just a little far forward than what like a New Zealand would be. But you still want it to not just slide off or fall off quickly, but you want it to round into that full hindquarter right there. She's not wanting to cooperate real good right there. She might be over there that way. The arch starting at the neck, coming up to about here, front of this hip, and then starting to slide off right there. Gradually, not just the steep slope. That's my interpretation of it. And again, you see very little of that light streak right through the hip joint leg right there. She's pretty even colored all the way through, clear down her sides. I hope we got the lighting where you can see it. I'll tell you, she's got amazing color. Real rich, brilliant, glossy, golden. So I hope that answered the question on the type.
Okay.
Terry, you can chime in as well, so you ready?
Yeah, just sitting here looking at that animal, my goodness. I mean, I think years ago, Ohio used to have a Palomino club, and then the numbers really dwindled in the area, and that brings back some pleasant memories of years ago in the Palominos. It's wonderful. Amanda, any more questions?
Yes, I've got more questions. Let me see. Let me try to figure out which question I was on here. Can you cross the colors of the lynx and the golden, or is it better to keep them separate when breeding?
Well, that might be a question for Mike. I know he said this link that's here has some golden in the background, but I don't know how much you want to do of it and keep them true. I mean, you don't want to spoil this rich golden color you got going on here. It's so hard to get, you know, not getting any smut. There's no smut on those ears. I mean, it's just amazing color. It's just a privilege to handle a rabbit like this. There's not a bit of smut anywhere. And they're just as rich and even as golden as you can. But on the lynx, I think, you know, they're getting them started. They're trying to improve the body and stuff on them, that you might have to put some of that golden or something else into it. But you're going to have to work back to getting that pearl dove gray surface color that they're wanting. Not only that, but that rich, and I'm going to bring the lynx back out, that rich undercolor that she has. I mean, it is a brilliant beige color. You can see more of her pearl dove gray in her molt right here because it's a little bit shorter. It doesn't have the length of the guard hair that her coat does here on the sides. But see how rich that undercolor is? Really, you can see that line right there. And then on the belly color as well, it is a brilliant beige color. Might not show up as well there. You see more of a white cast here, but when you blow into it, you got that beige color. So there's similarities, but yet the lynx is with that surface color being the pearl dove gray right there. It's kind of unique. Very pretty color. You know, if she was even in her coat and color right there, she would be amazing.
And how hard would you cull for straight white hairs in the coat?
Well, apparently Mike's got them completely out because I haven't seen a single one on either one of them yet. But yeah, that would definitely be a fault if you're starting to get a lot of stray white hairs, but I don't see a single stray white hair in either one of these rabbits. You probably get very few, do you, Mike?
A few I get stray white hairs, but as long as it's not extreme, it's usually not a problem.
I don't think you're gonna find a white hair in this one. Not one. That'd definitely be something to watch on your herd. You'll definitely want to keep an eye on it. If you start getting more of it, you're going to have to get a real rich colored golden put in there.
And I have a question here about nails. What color are the nails to be on the lynx and the Palomino, or the lynx and the golden?
You want them as dark as possible. And these, if you can see here, they're really dark nails. You don't want white nails. You start putting white nails in, and then you're starting to lose your color. You want them all uniform. They all have to match evenly. But you want the nails as dark as possible. And these are pretty dark. Get the hair away from it. I'll pull the links out as well. Dark nails there as well. Pretty dark. Yeah, you don't want the white toenails. You want them as dark as possible. You can see it behind my thumb there. That's one thing I can say. Mike's got amazing color on the lynx and the golden all the way through. Not only because of the ears, there's just no smut whatsoever, no ear lacing, but the overall rich, brilliant color that they carry as well.
Okay, Amanda, do we have any more questions coming in for Bruce? Amanda?
Oh, I was talking to myself. I have comments on here that talks about that this was a very helpful presentation, that has
Good.
beautiful animals and well-behaved animals.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you,
Mike shows them a lot, so.
Yeah, that brings back some good memories watching them. So, Amanda, I'll go ahead and do a few announcements in case somebody comes in with some other last minute questions. How's that?
That's fine with me.
Okay, I want to first start off by thanking Bruce. Wonderful job. He helped out last year at one of our live presentations, and I'm glad he came back and did one of our virtual ones this year, so we thank Bruce. Of course, you want to thank Mike as well, Mike Robb, letting us use his Palominos, beautiful animals, and we're glad to get a chance to show them to everybody. And of course, we had some good camera help there putting on the video as well, so we want to thank our camera people. Here on the D8 side, I want to thank Amanda Behe and Jane Burt. They comprise our D8 web team. Amanda does our practice sessions, the slides, runs the control board here during the live presentations. Jane, in addition to a webmaster and a newsletter editor, she does the promotional flyers. So they both put a lot of work into this. And of course, I want to thank all the people watching this. So y'all are the reason we do this. Hopefully someday we'll come back and do our live ones again, but until then we'll be doing virtual. I had planned on scheduling some live events for the fall shows, but things are still, we don't know what's going to be happening. So for the time being, we're going to keep on doing the virtual ones. And maybe eventually we'll get back to live, but I think the virtual is the safest bet right now, so we'll keep on doing those. August, I haven't got all the way finalized yet. We've had some requests come in, and we're trying to accommodate those. No guarantees we can get it done, but I am trying. Please check back often to the D8 Facebook page, and as soon as we get something scheduled, we'll get it up there, and hopefully that'll be pretty soon. I also want to remind everybody about our D8 YouTube channel, and that is called ARBA D8 website. Please give Amanda a few days, and tonight's presentation will be up there. If you want to check out some of our past virtual events or even some of the live ones from last year, those are available. And again, that is ARBA D8 website. Amanda, anything else coming in there?
No, not at this time.
Okay, Bruce, thanks again. Mike, thanks again. You guys, this is a super job, and it's great to see some of these beautiful animals on the show table, or on the virtual table right now, we'll call it.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure. And I want to thank Mike for, having next door neighbor right here, having some of the greatest animals in the country right here. So beautiful animals, Palominos. You want to get one.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you again, Bruce, Mike, and camera crew. Great job, and really happy to get this breed out there for everybody to take a look at. Again, remember, please check back often to our D8 Facebook page. As soon as we're able to get some of these August events finalized, we'll get them up there. In the meantime, my friends, stay safe, and thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.